Welcome back aboard Blurred Force One with your boys Mo and Ladi. And this is the Supercast. The Supercast where we talk about all things superhero in our pop culture media. That's movies, TV shows, video games. We talk about the news, do some speculation, all that good nerdy stuff. And before we get into the podcast today, do us a favor, get down there, hit like on this video, or if you are listening to us on a podcasting platform, leave us a review, 5 stars if you think that's what we deserve, but whatever you think, we warrant. So we appreciate that, any of that engagement. And also check us out on Twitter. It's at Super Not Funny S1 on Twitter. We are also on Instagram, Super Not Funny Show, TikTok. For whatever reason you want to talk to us there, hit us up on all the socials. We would really like to hear from you. But anyway, it's what a weekend superhero things. We got 2 good superhero shows running. We're getting ready for the Marvels, getting ready for Invincible, and there's Hollywood sort of starting back up thanks to the writer's strike being over, but the actors are still on strike. Hopefully that'll get resolved, so we'll get a lot more cool stuff on the way. But anyway, before we talk about all that, Ladi, my friend, how you doing this evening? Do you have controller thumb?
No.
Not yet.
But I know exactly why you asked that. 'Cause
Yes.
yes, I have been playing the shit out of Spider-Man. Like, the shit out of Spider-Man. If it's even an hour a day, I'm playing that motherfucker.
That's right. That's actually one of the big things going on in superhero stuff this week. Sony's Marvel Spider-Man came out last Friday, and people have been going at it for the last 4 or 5 days, and lots of hot takes on the internet, and we're definitely going to talk about that later on. But that's your nerdy thing for the week. What did I do nerdy at all? I swear I do regular people things most of the time. Watching TV, I guess, and working in the garden as the fall is coming around. I'm trying to feed the family, if you will. Oh, non-nerd related thing, but I'm feeling kind of proud of it. I harvested sweet potatoes for the first time, and it was pitiful, but I don't give a damn. I grew some damn sweet potatoes from a supermarket sweet potato. So there, winning at life. Other than that, I've been watching the new season of Upload and just trying to not be terrible at Street Fighter. So, but either way, that's not what you guys are here for. You're here for some superhero talk, and we got plenty of that for you this week. We got some good old news items that we're going to cover, like Gen V, the boys spinoff, got some good news this last week. Deadpool 3 got some not good news this last week. We heard about James Wan, what his next superhero related property is going to be that he's going to be working on, and it might surprise you, and it sounds really interesting. James Gunn, there's a little tea about James Gunn and his dealings with his co-writer on Guardians of the Galaxy 1. This is all coming out of from a book about the MCU and Marvel Studios. Also from that same book, talking about something we had never heard of, some friction, some conflict between Kevin Feige and the now departed Victoria Alonso, and what was that all about? And finally, we're gonna bring it all home with Ladi giving us his review of the Spider-Man 2. So Ladi, plenty to get to. You ready to go, man?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, let's hit this. Man, dude, Gen V, we just did our review of episode, was it episode 5, episode 6 of Gen V, and we've been reviewing it. It's been really well received. Like, anyone who ever liked the boys likes Gen V. It's a really good expansion of that universe, and so good, in fact, and so well received. Ladi, like, I wasn't surprised to hear this, but Amazon said, yep, we're doubling up. We're gonna get season 2 for this. Ladi, I mean, like, Was there ever even a question about this?
No, it wasn't a question. I mean, the show, like I said, the show is. I had my fear at the beginning because I was like, oh no, this might be one of those like teeny, dramas with just superpowers in it. It's like, but no, it is. It is actually it is the boys told from another perspective, and I like it. And I actually like how they've added, like I said, and even in the review, adding, they're adding a different, complete perspective to the boys. Of there are people that absolutely despise uh soups and want to see the mass extinction of.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely something that's going on in there. I again, I've sort of I look at on social media, and people are just like, yeah, this is actually really good. And even I have coworkers, and I'm always trying to put them on to like what I think is cool. And pretty much every one of them watch The Boys, and they didn't know that this was even a thing. So now that they do know, and they're catching up on it, they're all over it too. So once again, was it Evan Goldberg, Seth Rogen, Eric Kripke? They've just hit, they hit it exactly right. They've created something that people really like, and makes a lot of sense that they're doubling down on this, especially as connected to The Boys as it's going to be. Because I don't know if you had heard this. I don't know if you saw this on social media, but they were saying, like, I think Kripke was saying that it's a handoff. They're handing the baton to season 4 of The Boys. So this really is a kind of like a chapter 3.5 of The Boys. And so it everything that's happening here does matter to the main story. So it's brilliant, makes sense to me. Lottie, can you believe though, like, how is it that Amazon Prime is kicking more ass with superhero stuff than Marvel than Disney Plus is? How is that happening? Or Disney Plus or Max? The DC universe or the Marvel universe. How is it that they're doing this?
Well, here's the thing. Amazon so I'm gonna start off with DC. What caused DC not to be doing as well as it should be? It, instead of trying to run its own race, it just tried to skip the line and catch up to Marvel, which was devastating, caused it to have a bad reputation, to the point that DC has put out good shows, but it's taken them so long to get people to watch it. Like, there are still people who are superhero fans that still have not watched Peacemaker and have HBO Max. It's because of disdain that DC has left on themselves, you know. And then we've talked about it, why Disney, they don't even do freaking pilots, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Amazon is running its own race. Amazon was like, we're going to create this universe called The Boys. And it's doing so well that they're like, okay, now let's see something called Diabolical. Let's see how they like this. Oh, they liked it. Okay, now we can tell more. They're allowing their universe to grow organically instead of trying to force their universe to grow. We're not getting. You got to think about this. We're not getting. Gen V is not coming out until The Boys became like a global thing. Like, The Boys is now a global thing. They didn't try to get Gen V out when season 2 was coming out. You know what I mean?
Right.
Gen V comes out after a whole year after season 3 came out. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, and then of course we all know Invincible. Invincible is its own great story. And again, giving the creator time to create his universe, that we got a little bit of a spinoff with what's her name? What was the Adam Eve. But the thing about it is, I won't really consider that a Adam Eve thing a spinoff, because she's actually is a main character in the boy. I mean, not in the boy, in the Invincible universe. So I don't really consider that a spinoff. So it's like Amazon is just allowing their creators, they're like, hey, we're gonna give you time to create and then build your universe. There's no speeding, there's no forcing this massive universe because if you make a universe too big, it gets hard to keep up with, especially when you start adding like ridiculous stuff to it, because there's going to be characters that will be left behind if you start adding like the stuff that Marvel's going through. It is hard to get back to ground level stuff when literally you had a being that erased half the universe.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously they're smaller. They're only dealing with right now, the Boys universe is literally only dealing with 2 shows. Invincible's dealing with just 1 show, but they are strong. They are super strong, and they are, as you said, they're letting the creators really kind of like build it up without having all of these expectations and everything on it. Like nobody at Amazon is like, oh, we got to get ready for the next movie, and we got merchandising, and we got market. They're no one's worried about that. They're just trying to put out a prestige show that will compete, and let's be clear, and it's competing quite well with some of the best things that HBO puts out, So that's their aim, and Marvel's aim and DC's aim are a lot different because they've got other things besides creating good movies and good TV shows in mind. So it's pretty apparent. It's just crazy to me, like literally, besides Peacemaker, I love Miss Marvel and everything, but Miss Marvel's not as good as Gen V or or The Boys. And so, I would love to see that kind of approach taken at Marvel, even though I know it won't, because, again, they have other priorities besides just making really great movies and TV. So, either way, good on Gen V. We're glad to see the renewal for season 2, and man, I can't wait to see what direction they go. So, we'll let you guys know more about what season 2 is all about when we learn more. So, speaking of news, as I mentioned in kind of the teaser, Deadpool 3, not so good news. Ladi, will it surprise you at all when I tell you that Deadpool 3 is getting delayed again? Surprise. Big surprise. Big surprise. Yeah, this was inevitable. We're still in the middle. See, no one's talking about it because the WGA got their deal, but we're still in the middle of a strike. The actors are on strike right now. In fact, did you see that SAG was like, here's some guidelines for what you can what you should and should not dress up as for Halloween, and they were just like, don't be dressing up like your characters or whatever character you are, because you're promoting struck work. And that's where we're at right now. We're at the petty level of the strike, I suppose. But even though they're negotiating, but that means that nothing's being filmed. Things are being written, they're being produced, not being filmed though. So obviously that means that things have got to move. So Deadpool's not going to be coming out next May like they said it would. Ladi, they don't even say when it's coming out at all. It's just to be announced. Eventually it's coming out. Again, Ladi, is this a surprise, and how do you feel about this delay?
2025.
Yeah, it should lead right into Kang Dynasty. There you go. Actually, at this point,
Kang is about to get it.
Yeah, he's gonna get moved back to 2026 probably.
Yeah, legit.
They're gonna prune.
Legit.
They're pruning his timeline.
Legit. We might be 40 by the time I might be 40 and you'll be 50.
We're talking about we. Yeah. I'm already there. I'm up in it.
I might be 40 and you'll be 50. Invincible might finish before
we get
Invincible might be finished.
Season 8 of Invincible the finale, and finally, let's go ahead and watch Kang Dynasty.
I remember like there was this one of my favorite YouTubers, you know, Maximilian Dude.
Yeah,
Whenever
yeah.
he sees like a game comes out and he sees the release date, move that out the way. That game doesn't exist. At this point, literally, if I see a release date of 2026 or 2027, man, like you might as well not even have said anything at this point. Man, come on, man.
That actually that does remind me, and this like semi but not really related to Deadpool. They're talking about in that book I was telling you about, which I need to buy that and read that. It really is, it's spilling all the tea about the behind the scenes at Marvel, but whatever. That apparently, remember the last was it Comic-Con where they announced Fantastic Four and all this other stuff, that apparently at that Comic-Con both Kathleen Kennedy of Lucasfilm and Kevin Feige of Marvel Studios were pressured to supposedly by executives above them to, you know, announce things that they were nowhere near ready to start even working on. You know, remember they were like, "Ooh, Fantastic Four," right? Have we heard anything about Fantastic Four besides rumors? Anything at all? No, you know what we heard? Someone got hired, a director got hired for Fantastic Four, which was Matt Shakman, who we know from WandaVision. Matt Shakman was hired, but have we heard about who's writing? You know, or is the script done? Have they cast anybody? Right? That's the thing, is they've announced all of these things, Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars and everything. You're right. They may as well be vaporware at this point, as much work has been completed on, much movement has happened on them. Like, we know they're coming. But like, we know, how about this? We know that Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars are coming the same way we know GTA 6 is coming. Like, it'll be here. It may be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years from now, but it's coming. It's
it's coming.
It's like in the meantime, play GTA Online, I guess, for the 1,000th time. Or whatever. I don't know.
Listen, there's a meme that I saw where they were like, people were like saying, "Oh, GTA 6 is going to get announced." It was basically, the meme starts off as a regular man's face, but then he was like, "It'll get announced on the 10-year anniversary of GTA 5. The anniversary passed. It will get announced 2 days after." It shows him put it on cloud makeup. And it's like, and he's like, "No, Joe, well, it will get released it will get talked about at Gamescom. Gamescom is past." It's like they're gonna talk about it whenever they feel like talking about it. At this point, us trying to predict games and movies, I tell people just play what's out and watch what's out.
Right.
You just it'll come out when it's ready.
Yeah, which is kind of messed up. It basically gives shows like ours a ton of content, because we're just like, "What is this the time? Is this it? What's this random rumor? What could this mean?" I'm like, it just means that ain't shit came out yet. That's what it means. Anyway, poor Wade Wilson, poor Ryan. Well, I mean, I guess Ryan Reynolds not gonna be poor, but you get what I'm saying.
Yes.
He's he just gotta wait a little while, but it's all good. You know what? It's not like we don't have plenty of other Marvel things going on. So hopefully we will hear something good about Deadpool. I hope before the end of the year. As long as they resolve this strike soon. Let's move on to somebody who I wasn't expecting to hear about them doing more superhero things. I saw something earlier. They're like, "What's the future of Aquaman 3 for James Wan?" And I was like, y'all need to be worried about the future of Aquaman 2 and how it's gonna fucking bomb like it's gonna bomb so fucking hard. Like y'all, well, you guys are putting the cart. It's not even putting the cart ahead of the horse. You're putting the cart on another continent from the horse when you talk about Aquaman 3. But whatever. That Aquaman 2 is coming up at the end of the year. But James Wan already got another superhero franchise sort of in the works. I was very surprised by this. But James Wan's production company is Atomic Robot, which has a really fucking cool like little animation. It's like a claymation dude in a rocket suit with the helmet, and he's fighting like, you know, this monster. It's pretty dope. But either way, they're gonna be doing the live action Gargoyles for Disney, which I will confess, never seen Gargoyles. Never seen even one episode of Gargoyles. I understand a lot of, you know, 90s kids really liked Gargoyles, so I'll accept it. I guess it's probably good. But they're making a live action version of it, and James Wan's Atomic Monster will be producing. And I'm like, okay, dope. I mean, I don't have any particular investment, but I know you're a 90s kid, and I know you watched a lot of, you know, cartoons and stuff in the 90s. So I wanted to know, what do you think about this? Are you excited for a Gargoyles live action? Or was this even your jam back in the day?
I loved Gargoyles, but here's my thing. Why? And I say why.
Wait. Are you saying asking Disney why?
Why are you making it?
Wait,
is
this a serious question? This is Disney.
Gargoyles live action. I'm being honest, man. I don't think it's going to do as good as Disney think it's going to do.
Well, I think that okay, probably, but it depends on how much freedom they get to do it. Who's writing on it is my main question, and because in terms of visually, I don't see why they can't get it together. In fact, I think it would be dope if they would do practical effects on it, rather than CG. But you know how they are.
And here's the thing: it's not even really the whole thing of how it will look. It's the fact that Gargoyles is a what's the word I'm trying to use? It's a cult classic. It's not like one of those things that was like Lion King. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things that if you're going to do it, it should be a Disney Plus thing. It should not be.
Well, yes.
Like
as far as I know, this.
Okay,
is
it's Disney. Okay, so it's not It's not going to be like a big Okay, if it's a Disney Plus show, that's fine. If I thought it was going to be like a big movie. I'm like, it's not going to do as well as you think. But okay, if it's Disney Plus, that's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is. Oh, I think it's cool that they are just deciding to actually use some other IP that isn't just Marvel or Star Wars, you know. But Disney Plus actually has been showing a willingness, or at least Disney been showing a willingness to give a shot to some of these things. You know, like they did the Willow show, even though they canned that, but they did a Santa Claus show with Tim Allen last year, which I heard was good. I just I couldn't get into it, but they're giving they have tons of IP, and let's be honest, we're in a space where they can make the Percy Jackson books into a TV show that apparently has got a pretty good budget, and this is just a bunch of people that are kind of cool looking with wings, and they're superheroes and stuff like that. I mean, it fits. It ticks all the boxes. So why wouldn't they? And as far as I'm concerned, why not? I'll give it a shot. Like I'm just that sort of person. If it's gonna be some fantasy superhero something or other, I'll probably check it out. So, and James Wan being attached is pretty cool too. So I'm
Yeah.
down for it. He's got a good sensibility, even though Aquaman's gonna bomb. So,
Yeah.
oh, anyway, I'm sure we'll be getting more information in the coming year. We'll let you guys know more about it when we hear about it. So, moving on from there, let's talk about some tea. We're spilling tea today, Ladi. You got your sauce in your cup, your lemon wedges, your sugar cubes, your digestive biscuits, and because I need you to get your teacup, put your pinky finger there, get ready for some tea. I said digestive biscuits.
Digestive biscuits.
James, so we all love James Gunn. So I'm prefacing this because this is about some tea about James Gunn. And no, it's not related to stupid tweets he made 15 years ago or whatever, or his firing. It's about Guardians of the Galaxy 1. We're all like, man, James Gunn's awesome, and Guardians of the Galaxy was awesome. And, you know, we're always like, let's call it what it is, dick riding James Gunn. Can we just admit that? Let's be upfront about that, because this is going to throw some of that into some stark relief. Because he had a co-writer on the first Guardians, and I didn't know that. Probably because I didn't give a damn about looking up the IMDb. It was just he's the director and they said he wrote it, so I let that be that. But no, he had a co-writer on it. And in this book, I keep referencing this book, right? That's talking about the Marvel Studios and everything like that, and it kind of gets into it. But in the book, a guy named Zach Stentz, who was a screenwriter. He co-wrote Thor and X-Men First Class, among other things. He's a good writer. But he was talking about how a woman named Nicole Perlman felt like that James Gunn was basically, didn't want to share co-writing credits with her, even though she, co-wrote the script, basically. I imagine she probably wrote the first draft of the script, or at least, wrote a draft of the script, and a good amount of it was used to make the movie. And therefore that means, with the WGA, that gives you co-writing. And it's not even just that Ladi, you would be surprised, or maybe you wouldn't be surprised at the amount of wrangling and feelings, that are attached to where you are credited on the movie. And by that I mean, when they're rolling credits and they say who directed, who produced, so forth and so on, who wrote, that means something. And I understand why, because it means money, because it's related to, your contract and your guild and all that stuff. But this little quote from the book was very illuminating, and it made me pause for a second, because I had to think about, like, James Gunn as I understand him as a person. So anyway, it says she had to knife fight for her credit on Guardians of the Galaxy. He said she is probably the preeminent female action tentpole writer now, because she was the first woman to have her name on not just a Marvel movie, but on a Marvel movie that people really love. Again, I did not know this because I didn't watch the damn credits for the movie. Said she threw a party when the movie came out, literally called a "Fuck James Gunn" party, because she had won that very bruising credit arbitration. Remember what I said? They fight over that stuff. It said the thing that I'm still angry about, and I say this as a fan of James Gunn as a director, was that he was very clearly was selectively leaking stuff to his friends in the fanboy media circles to undermine her credit. So, and he ends it by saying, talking about himself, and he says, when Matthew Vaughn, who we talked about last week, but he was the director of X-Men First Class and the Kingsman movies, he says, when Matthew Vaughn decided to have a temper tantrum over the fact that we got screen credit on X-Men First Class, at least he did it under his own name. So, Ladi, basically he's saying that James Gunn tried to push her out, Nicole Perlman out, as a credited writer or co-writer of the movie, and that she fought hard, and probably, I would imagine, with the WGA lawyers on her side, to make sure that she was credited on the film as a co-writer of the film, and got credited in the credits themselves, and made sure she got her money for it. And that he's saying that James Gunn kind of went around and was telling people about it, and was trying to make it seem like she was she didn't deserve it or whatever, and that it was all about him. All right, so Ladi, hearing all of that and knowing that, let's just again recalling we're James Gunn stands. What is this like? What does this do to your understanding of him as a creator and a because mind you, I checked, he was the sole writer on Guardians 2 and 3. So I just want to make sure you understand that, but that's not on the first one. How does this make you think about him as a creator and this whole Hollywood situation, and how he's allegedly handled it?
Do you want me to be honest?
I want you to keep it 100, my friend.
I knew this over a decade ago.
Oh, so I'm the asshole that's coming up late. Okay.
Dead ass, I knew about this all the way back in 2015, 16.
Really? Dude,
knew about this. Dead serious. I knew about this like about a decade ago. I knew about James Gunn. I already know who James Gunn is as a director, that he's sort of like has that arrogance about him, and I know that he was not the only writer on Guardians of the Galaxy 1, and I kind of was like, when I saw Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and I saw that the person that I didn't know I didn't know the gender, I didn't know it was a woman or a person. I just know that James Gunn I read a article about it, how James Gunn was the sole writer of Guardians 2, and I saw Guardians 2, and I was like, makes sense. It's not that good. So Guardians 3 is better, but I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked. I mean, like I said, I knew about this. So like hearing all of this, being honest with you, I known about this. I didn't know detail for detail, but I know for a fact James Gunn was not the only writer in Guardians 1. I knew he became the sole, because I saw that he was like promoted or whatever, and he's like the sole writer, director. Everything is going through him in this movie. So I was like, oh snap, this movie's about to be good. Then I saw it and I was like,
That is interesting. Like the fall off between the two was noticeable. Even though I still do like Guardians 2 quite a bit. It's just so. This is what I want to say about just Hollywood in general. And the thing is, I get it. It's dog eat dog out in that bitch. Like you're working in an industry that so many other people want to work in and be successful in too. There's a real tendency to be territorial, or to be threatened by other people, or to just see a few more dollar signs, and so it's just so weird to me though, because how you have to be successful, or to just get a leg up over somebody, and you have to step over somebody else to do it. And that's exactly why these unions freaking exist. That's why they exist at all. Because like I said, I guarantee you this woman went to the WGA and was like, hey, they're trying to do this shit to me. I need lawyers. And they got it, and they went through arbitration to make sure she got what was hers. But it's just like, look, I'm a big fan of James Gunn, and this just doesn't sit right with me. I'll often say, if your business model requires you to screw people over, then you need to change your business model. You know that your success shouldn't be predicated on you screwing people over. And
Can I
similarly,
say this though?
go ahead.
Can I say this though? From what I have read and what I have seen, James Gunn is a different person than the arrogant, and he's talked about this too. I'm not sure if you've seen it, but he has talked about this too, about like, because let's be honest, we're not James Gunn wasn't fired from Marvel for being a saint. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He did some things to get himself out of Marvel, you know, and he got himself a little bit of redemption tour with DC, and he seems like he is on a better track. I mean, we'll see. I mean, I don't know how to feel about the Henry Cavill thing still, because he just hired a guy that looked just like Henry Cavill. But uh I mean, I have a feeling that James Gunn is a better person than he was. Maybe not like perfect, but he's definitely a better person from what I've seen than the guy that was working with Marvel. Like, he just is. So I hope he's learned from this mistake, because yeah, that is messed up. Because me personally, I'm the type of person that if anybody ever helped me to do anything, I'm like the first person. Cause like somebody would be like, "Oh, you did this by yourself?" No. They're like, "What? Who? You sure?" I'm like, "No." I'm telling them, "No, I did not do this by myself. Someone helped me. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say and try to keep credit from somebody else."
yeah,
Because in my opinion, spreading the credit is actually better in the long run. You know what I mean? Than just because if you say that you've done everything by yourself, people are going to expect you to do everything by yourself.
yeah. Well,
And you see what happened.
I just think it's, you know, if Hollywood's gonna be better, we're always talking about Hollywood accounting and people getting screwed over and stuff like that. It's only gonna be better if everyone tries to actually be better. You know,
Yeah.
you know if you're screwing somebody. I don't believe that anyone accidentally screws anyone over. Um, if you do, it's very happens very you know, not very often. Most of
I
the time
agree.
when someone gets screwed, someone's intentionally doing it. So just be better than that. Like, I guess I expect better from James Gunn. And you know, this was years ago. You're right, things may have changed. I just hope that that's true. But like, all credit to Nicole Perlman, because that first Guardians was dope. It's like, it's such a great movie. And I have much respect for the people that originated that. And so now, reading this, I'm more interested to see like what else has she done. What, I need to check out what her IMDb looks like. If she was responsible for me getting Rocket and Drax and Gamora and all that in the first, cool. I want to know what's up. So anyway, that I just thought that was interesting. Wanted to just kind of delve into that a little bit. So moving on, we got more tea. Ladi, let me pour you another steaming cup of this Marvel tea. It's it's coming hot. The dang book is putting everything out on Front Street. So this all the stuff is out. So this is about Victoria Alonso, the recently departed, vice president of Marvel Studios, and her conflicts with Kevin Feige, friction with Kevin Feige. Now, we understand that she was fired from Marvel, essentially for, she was a producer on a movie for some other studio. And they were like, it's fine if you produce it, but you can't be promoting it. And then she talked about it, promoted it, whatever. That was supposedly the reason. But I have to tell you, some of this stuff sounds like, well, maybe it was one of the many straws that broke the camel's back, so to speak. So this more or less says that she had friction with Kevin Feige, and one of the things that he had a problem with her about is that it said the book says that she broke one of Feige's cardinal rules, which was don't speak out publicly against the company. Now, of course, she did so by calling out Bob Chapek for not saying anything about the Florida, don't say gay legislation. And eventually, of course, Chapek did say something, but the point is, she went out and said something against the company because of it. Now, apparently, this rubbed Feige the wrong way, and the book goes on to say that he told her that she had outgrown her role and pushed her to keep her head down and do the work. Then he says that later on, that when she was told to remove certain, gay positive representation from the movies, in order to make them okay to film in other countries where they didn't like that stuff, she refused to do so, even though eventually the VFX did, or the editing did remove it, but she didn't want to have anything to do with it. And so that, basically we went for, how many years did we go being like, man, they're a well-oiled machine over there, and they're everyone's working together, the synergy's awesome, like Marvel just can't do any wrong. And now this book has been like, nah, bitch, this shit was going down behind the scenes, that like Victoria Alonso and Kevin Feige, they didn't sing Kumbaya and eat s'mores together. They actually had some problems with each other, and it even sounds like Feige was like, she's getting a little too big, head's getting too big, and she was just like, I'm going to be defiant or whatever, so, or whatever you want to call it. So either way, Ladi, it's a big old preamble. The point is, all was not copacetic over at Marvel, and Victoria Alonso's firing probably was a long time coming. So what do you think? You read all this stuff. What does this make you think about what's going on at Marvel Studios?
Listen, I saw this a mile away when she got fired. I was like, this is BS. Like, I felt when I saw that she got fired, I was like, I think they've been waiting. They've been like, I'm into like movies. You're more of a movie buff than I am, but like I compare this to like stuff in like sports. Like, good example. There was a coach at Michigan State this year. He's been losing a lot of games, and they owe him a lot of money because they gave him this stupid extension that was like $100 million. But since that extension, he's been sucking. Like, his team's been sucking. As soon as allegations came out, suspended, fired. Woo! Woo! They did. That was the quickest investigation I've ever seen in my life. That man was only on investigation for 1 week and he was fired. I was like, I remember when he got on investigation, everybody was like, I don't think he's fired. There's not much there to it. I said, this is their excuse to get rid of him. I promise you that man's getting fired. I don't care if that man is innocent. They are going to fire him. It's the same thing. I'm sure Disney, I knew it when they fired her. And I think I talked about it on the Supercast that there was something brewing in the background of Disney that they're not talking about right now. But she's no longer working for them, so now she can just talk about as much tea as she wants. And it was true. They were not getting along, and I'm sure there's other people.
It sounds to me like people that didn't like her are like, well, she was doing some shit. Like, I'm reading it. They're like, remember they were talking about the VFX. She was in charge of VFX and everything, and that it was all on her. That why it's a toxic work environment. So I guess my thing is, man, I tell you what, all this I don't want to call it a losing streak, but this downward trajectory of quality at Marvel really bringing out, people are really pulling their knives out and starting to be like, oh, it's on them. We're starting to see underneath this facade, behind this facade, it's like any other studio, and maybe in some ways not as good as some other studios, in that they've got all of this, this shit going on. Not just the VFX artists, but like these little conflicts between the higher ups and everything. And in spite of all that, and don't even get me started about Secret Invasion. Secret Invasion was such a fucking clusterfuck. Have you read about that? Have you seen? I don't even think I put that on us for us to talk about. But since we're talking about Marvel Studios and shit in the bed, it's like I'll say straight up, I didn't really, I liked some aspects of it, but I wasn't a fan of Secret Invasion. I think I made that fairly clear when we were talking about it. But the fucking not even weird ass, the toxic ass work environment, the competing interests, the firing and hiring and firing and all the shit it's amazing that fucking show even exists with all this the bullshit that was going on behind the scenes and like the cleanup work and the rescue work that they had to do to make it anything at all. And it's just, I'm just like, this whole mystique, this myth of Marvel Studios being some, creative Shangri-La where they're just firing on all cylinders at all times, and they're just all pulling in the same direction and trying to make this big shared universe. That shit is crumbling before my eyes. That this very idea that Feige is somehow this, guru that's just leading this studio, in some amazing way. Turns out the studio's just a regular fucking studio. They're just really good at PR.
That's Disney for you. That is Disney.
It's the whole thing. It's like the castle at Disney World. It looks good from afar, but when you get up close, you're like, this shit ain't real. You see that bitch from the parking lot, you like, damn, that is impressive. You get up on him like, is this a townhouse? What is this thing? Anyway, if you've never been to Disney World, you don't know what I'm talking about. But trust me, just if you want to maintain the illusion, don't walk too close to it. I'm just saying. It's just crazy. Anyway, it's interesting. I'm telling you, I might have to get this book. I've been enjoying this tea right now. I need to get all the tea. So anyway, we get more information. We get more tea, if you will. We'll let you guys know what we think about it. So we come to the main event of this episode. Ladi, our resident gamer, like our hardcore gamer, knows pretty much everything that's going on in video gaming that there is. And dare I say, Sony fan. Fanboy, that's not fair. Stan seems like a better thing. Appreciator of all things Sony. Do you still have that Sony monitor? That looks like a Vita. Looks like a Vita.
Yeah, I still have it. Yeah.
My dog he's big into Sony, and so I guess I mentioned before, the Spider-Man 2 dropped last Friday, and of course he dove straight into it, webs and all, and just got his web sling on. So Ladi, God, man, tell us what's up, man. Is it good, or is it a broken piece of junk like I keep seeing on social media with people having bugs and all this other stuff, or complaining about web slinging, or complaining about not being able to go into the subway, or just let us know what's the real deal.
All those people complaining about the game, I'm gonna tell you right now, those are Xbox fanboys who actually don't own the game. They're just sharing clips of people reporting bugs. Because the game had a few bugs. The game crashed on me one time. And here's the thing. I'm just gonna call absolute BS on everybody who says this game is broken. I don't give a fuck who you are. 100% of the time, every game is going to crash. Every single game ever created will crash. Like, I'm hearing they're like, the game crashed. I'm like, every game I've ever played in my life has crashed on me. Mario has crashed on me. Mario's the golden. I've played Mario games that have crashed on me. Every game, there's a situation that can happen that can crash. Whoop-de-doo. It crashed one time. But besides all the hating fanboys who are just, because it, first of all, let me get this out of the way. I just want to say this. If you're a fanboy listening to this, you're 30 years old. Grow up. It's not the 2000s anymore.
Some of them could be 12.
No, it's not. These are grown ass. I'm telling you, there's no such thing as fanboys in Gen Z and Gen Alpha. It's 30 to 40-year-old men that are freaking weird. Kids don't give a fuck about what console they're playing. Let's be. Kids don't. Does your daughter plays? Does she care? Like, my friend has a son. He doesn't care what he plays on. My brother's daughter-in-law, she's 13. She doesn't give a damn. She just wants to play games. It's literally 30, 40-year-old men who are on the internet terminally, still on this shit that we were all the way back in 2006. Oh, Jesus. It's just like, why? But besides that, we're actually talking about Spider-Man. This Spider-Man game is the greatest adaptation of Spider-Man ever made. I'm going to stand on that. There has never been anything I have witnessed Spider-Man ever that is better than this game.
Not even the original Spider-Man 2 that everyone raved over back in the day?
Blows this game out the water. Everything, the movies, the TV shows, anything that has Spider-Man's name on it, this is better than all of it in every single aspect.
Hold on.
Not just...
Hold on now. Not even Across the Spider-Verse?
Better.
Those some strong words, my friend. You better back that up.
It's 100% better. The story is better. The acting is better. Everything about this game is better than anything Spider-Man related that has ever came out. I will stand on that. And I'm not the only one that feels that way. There are multiple. Anthony will tell you the same thing. My brother will tell you the same thing. My friend John, everybody who has played this game will tell you there is nothing Spider-Man that has ever came out that is even in the same. It's so far and beyond better. It's like, it's hard for me to explain how, because I don't want to ruin it. The story is so. I've never seen a story that is showing that even though there are two Spider-Man, they are still struggling. It's showing because, you know, not to really ruin it, at the end of Spider-Man 1, someone close to Peter passed away, you know, and he's dealing with it in this game. And of course, we all know Miles' dad died in the first game too, so he's dealing with that as well. There's a lot of things going on in the story that is just so good, how they have to balance their lives, because in this game this game is 3 years into the future from the original game. Miles is 18, about to go to college. Peter is a grown man trying to get a job.
Always Miles trying to get a job.
But this time he has nothing, like he doesn't have any university or anything to back him up. Like, he actually has to get a job to pay bills. I kind of don't want to tell you why he has to get, like, he legitimately needs a high paying job. I kind of don't want to say why, because it will ruin Spider-Man 1 for you. Mm-hmm. But
why he has to get. He should just go ask Doctor Strange to do a spell for him.
In this universe, the Avengers, I think, are dead.
Are they? Well, okay.
I think in this universe, the Avengers are dead, because he kind of referenced them because he like looks at a picture of Avenger Tower and he says, "I missed them. I think they're dead. I think they're dead."
Or at least or at least off planet or something or whatever. They
Yeah,
haven't come
they're
back.
like gone. They're not around because Avengers Tower is in New York, but it seems like they're either dead or they're gone or they like disbanded or something. So this just game, man, the web swinging is just snappy. It's just perfect. They added web wings into this game, right?
Mhm.
Miles and Peter are both playable. You can switch between the two, and they randomly generate in the city. Like you can be swinging around as Peter, and you can bump into Miles.
Right.
Or you could be stopping crime, and Miles can just pop up out of nowhere and help you.
Yeah.
Same thing, vice versa. If you're playing as Miles, it is so good. And there's other heroes that you meet in the game that also begin to randomly generate as well. Just man, you have to experience the game to truly understand that there's nothing Spider-Man related better than that. Like the first game was good. The story of the first game, I will say, was all right, but I would take the movie story over the video game story. This one, it's like Insomniac was like, say less. They went over to like Marvel and the Sony part who made the Spider-Man movies, took notes and said, "All right, we got you." And they've come up so far a banger storyline, and I'm like invested. I am invested. This is one of those few games that I'm like one of my friends sent me a clip of the game and I got mad. I said, "How dare you?" You're like, "What?" I said, "You're about to spoil the game for me." No, I've put everything Spider-Man 2 related on ignore. If the video of Spider-Man is put up by one of my people I subscribe to on YouTube, I won't see it until I put Spider-Man off ignore. I told Google, I am not interested in Spider-Man 2.
But the funny thing is, Google, he is interested in Spider-Man 2. That's the thing.
Exactly, because I do not want to be spoiled. I am loving this game. I give this game a 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
10
It's
out of
the
10,
best
no notes.
Spider-Man.
It's at 10 out of 10, no notes.
Yeah, it's a 10 out of 10. If you're listening to this or watching this, please, if you have, because you need a PS5. It's not on PS4, unfortunately, and you'll see why you need a PS5 to play this game. There's no way. Some people will say it could be played on no, it can't be played on a PS4. It has to be on a PS5. If you have a PS5, get this game. You will not be disappointed. It's a great game, great experience. The web swinging, if you want to feel like Spider-Man, it's all there. I'm playing the game on the hardest difficulty because I believe game developers develop games. The hard difficulty is the experience that they want you to have. You know what I mean? That's usually that's how I view developers, because hard now is normal back in the day. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not like how it was like when we were young. Hard difficulty was like almost impossible. Like there's only a few games nowadays, like Doom, where the hard mode on Doom is it's a gimmick. The hardest difficulty on Doom is called Ultra Nightmare. If you die, you got to start the game over.
That's the way it should be here too. Spider-Man he doesn't have 9 lives. He's not Black Cat.
By the way, I've watched some people on YouTube, not YouTube. I saw some clips of people who took off Swift Assist to see how hard, and they're like crashing into buildings, dying.
I love that. I was like, he's just getting slammed into the pavement and the walls and stuff like that. It's so good. It's like they've been playing around like, man, I'm good at this. I can, like when you're playing Mario Kart. You turn the steering assist off. So then you're like, what the hell? Why am I drifting all the way into this sand dune? Yeah, I thought that was funny. To be honest, it looks. I mean, look, I love Spider-Man. I thought the first one was really good. I have not played Miles Morales. This looks like, I don't want to say more of the same. That's not. I don't feel like that's fair. It's like saying, oh, the the Batman Arkham games are more of the same. Yeah, I mean it's the same general principle, but they're telling a different story, and there's more. They're increasing different aspects of the gameplay, so it's not the same. It looks really good. I've thoroughly enjoyed the discourse online with people desperately trying to find something wrong with it, and everyone else being like, "Why?" Everyone else being like, "What are you talking about? Why are you?" They're like, "Oh, I thought this was open world, but you can't go into the subway." I'm like, "The fuck you want to go in the subway for?" Like, I don't. What's the point of that? Like,
just play the game. Like,
or they're like, "Oh, I was riding this bicycle and it had a weird glitch." That's because, yes, it's true. They could have spent a lot of time making sure that bike works every single place on the map. Or, and it's just a weird thought here. They could just focus on Spidey, making sure that Spidey does what he's supposed to do, and not, I've never seen Spider-Man do ever in a comic book, ever, is ride a fucking bicycle.
Exactly. Like, why would like, that's the thing. Like, of all the things to be worried about in the game, you're worried about a side mission that you only do like once or twice. Like, come on, man. It is not. It's the things that are supposed to be polished in the game are polished. Like, it is. It's just this stupid hate.
How?
And here's the thing. It's because the reason why they're trying to poke holes at the game, because Xbox had their big release earlier this year called Starfield, but Starfield, when it came out, it was limited to only, no matter what, on your even if you have the Xbox Series X, it is limited to 30 FPS. Spider-Man, you can play it all the way up to 120 FPS. They see that and they're like, no, it has to be broken. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's not.
Well, there's other silly stuff that someone was like, I thought this was a Spider-Man game. Why am I playing as Miles' girlfriend or something like that? And I'm just like, you never played QuickTime events starring other people in the main character's game? Like, what is this discourse? Like,
they're just trying to hate it, man.
I'm trying to figure this out. Like, have you like, I'm not a big gamer, I'm not, but I played some games, and I played many games starring a person in which you take control of a different person for a little while. Yeah. Why is this isn't controversial? You're bitching about something stupid. Like,
it's like I said, man. It's like I was just saying earlier. These are grown men. These are not kids. Like, this would be different if these were kids. Like, I'll say, if these were like 13 to 18-year-old people, I'll be like, yeah, they're young. They're just stupid. These are grown men who are mad that you're enjoying something.
What? And wasn't somebody? I saw something else, which is a stupid trash take, talking about how every character in this, all these female characters in there, I hate to be fap worthy, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you playing? Man. Remember, what do I always say? Now I get why we were beaten up and stuffed in lockers, because if that's the sort of bullshit that passes as discourse, yeah, you need to get a atomic wedgie and your lunch money stolen. Shut the hell up with that dumb shit. Look, we live in a world where you can find porn very easily. Why the fuck are you worrying about whether or not the Mary Jane model in Spider-Man 2 is something you want to pull your dick out to? Like, what is wrong with you?
It's so crazy because, like, I just posted on, like, I can't remember, it was X or Facebook or something, and I just posted that, like, I can't wait.
Twitter,
whatever, Twitter. I'm like, I cannot wait to play Spider-Man 2. It was the day of Like I'm at work and I'm like, I can't wait to get home to it. Bruh, I got like 10 comments saying, "Oh, you PlayStation fanboy, you're about to play a broken game. You already see how many glitches are in it." Just like, bro, this is not, I didn't even I'm why are you mad? I just said I can't wait. I'm not saying, oh, it's I'm not one of those people that are like these placed because there are PlayStation fanboys out there that are like, oh, Xbox players can't play this game. I didn't say that. I just said I cannot wait to play the game. Why are you attacking me? Like, leave me alone, man. I just want to play the game and enjoy it. I'm not rubbing it in anybody's face. It's just, it is. It's like you said, the fact that people want every single woman to look like a 10 out of 10. I remember when Horizon Forbidden West came out and they showed Aloy as she's grown older because now she's quote unquote legal, that she's not like this drop dead gorgeous woman. They were so fucking mad, and it was just like, oh my god. I'm like, Aloy looks like a regular Caucasian woman who has an athletic body. Like, she looks like like, in my opinion, Aloy is a 9 or a 10 because yeah, she might not be freaking Kim Kardashian in the face, but she got like a track star's body. Like, but just because she doesn't look like a porn star in the face, it's just like, and there were people literally putting up edits of her with like makeup and shit on, and I'm like, she's a huntress running through the jungle from robots. Why would she have makeup on?
Yeah, like I said, I understand why we got beat up and stuffed in lockers. Like,
yep.
There you go. And not only that, I agree with it. It sounds like this is cool though. How far into the game are you?
I'm about 10, 12 hours, but I'm playing every single side mission.
Oh, so you got a hot minute. Well, you know what? We're gonna have to come back and check with you next week, see where you are, how close to 100%ing you are.
Oh yeah, because I am definitely 100% in this game.
Yeah,
that's happening.
We'll definitely check back. But you said 10 out of 10, so that sounds good. I wish I could give you my score, but I will not be owning a PlayStation 5 anytime soon. So, well, you'll just have to take my word for it that nerds on the internet are fucking weirdos. So, so anyway, that's all of our news for this week. But maybe we missed something. Maybe you had something to add or to disagree with us about. Whatever the case may be, get down to the comment section, leave your thoughts there. And of course, you can always hit us up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com or at supernotfunnys1 on Twitter. While you're down there, do us a favor, hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. All that good stuff helps to grow the channel so that more people can see these videos, podcasts, all of that good stuff. And we do appreciate you there. And also, if you're listening to us on a podcasting platform, you know what to do. Go over and give us a review. And, 5 stars will be dope. But, whatever you think we deserve, we appreciate it all the same. And, of course, I can't do this without, my good friend Ladi. Because, he's the video game guru. And we need to know what he thinks about Spider-Man. So, Ladi, where can they reach you on social media?
Oh yeah, you can always find me on my YouTube page, which is YouTube and Instagram, which is Anukinihun. Is ANUKINIHUN. It's ANUKINIHUN. I am dropping more and more content. I released a animation not too long ago, and I am working on another one and adding just more like character designs onto my Instagram and YouTube. So check that out.
Yeah, you guys go over there, show Ladi some love, hit like on everything, subscribe, join, all that stuff. You know what to do. And do it, show us some love on our socials too. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Threads, just all over the place. And if you can, help me understand how the hell to do things with TikTok. That'd be cool too. So Either way, this has been episode 124 of the Supercast. Had a lot of fun today, but next week got plenty more superhero stuff to talk about as Gen V gets closer to the end, as Loki gets closer to its end, and as we get closer to the Marvels and Invincible season 2. So looking forward to all of that. But until then, I've been Mo, your commentator extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by the anime expert, video game designer, and lover of all things superhero, my good friend Ladi. And we'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.
Peace.